Dominick Reyes just shook the MMA world again, doubling down on his claim that he actually beat Jon Jones back in 2020. Even though the judges gave Jones a unanimous decision, Reyes insists the fight was his, and he deserved the win.
What rounds do you believe that you won?
All three, first three, easily. He had nothing for me. He might have landed 2 punches in all 3 of those rounds. He took me down 4 and 5 in 1.5 seconds. Like, now that counts as nothing. He took me down, wasted energy, I got up and then elbowed him. Doesn't use his reach really well. For being 84-inch reach, bro, how many fist hand knockouts, how many punches does he land? Not very many. When I look at the numbers and how it actually is versus the glazing, bro, it's...
That's it. That's a great observation.
Like, my hands are better, are better than his because he doesn't understand his range very well. He wants to be touching you and elbowing you and grappling you in safer places.
Jon does what he does best. He grows in the fight. You weren't afraid of him.
No, not at all. He's been a champion for a long time. My whole thing was don't let him do anything he wants to do.
Seems like Dominic wants another crack at it, dude. Bring him back.
Oh, I did. I did. If you guys don't remember, after that fight, I lobbied for the rematch for the entire year, and he said, drop the belt and went to heavyweight. He ran for me because he said, you're not paying me enough to fight that guy. He's too dangerous.
It's safe to say that Luke Rockhold isn't a fan of Bareknuckle boxing. He fought Mike Perry in BKFC back in 2023, lost by second round TKO, and ended up with broken teeth. In an interview with MMAfighting.com, Luke said, bare knuckle boxing is not a fight. I realized I walked in there. I'm not losing my f***ing teeth without losing everything I've worked for my whole life. People are f***ing dumb. That's a ass sport. Metal roach that you just hit and then they throw you back into the brawl. There's no way to gauge that distance. It's like, who's willing to lose their face first for nothing? Luke is currently preparing to box Darren Till under Misfits Boxing on August 30th and says he doesn't expect Hill to last more than a few rounds. He continued, it couldn't be any worse than bare-knuckle boxing. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure I hamstring myself as hard as you can in that fight. This is different. I feel like my boxing has come a long way. No one has really seen it for me to put the shoes on, get in the ring, get that dance, get that movement. I can do it. I can do it with the best of the game. And I'm hurting people left and right at the gym. I don't expect it to be any different. I go out there and do what I'm doing every day now. I keep training, stay healthy. I don't think Darren should be able to exist more than a few rounds. One thing that I would do that I think is way more and not so because you can't gauge distance in bare-knuckle boxing. I would do bare-knuckle kickboxing. I would rematch Mike Perry and put him to sleep. I don't think he wants that. There's no way to gauge distance in bare-knuckle boxing, and they've got metal ropes. You're just bouncing in and out. Bare-knuckle kickboxing. I think there would actually be some technique to it, and I think that would be that would be a real fight. That would be fun. I'd f***ing somebody up in that. Reinier De Ridder says it would be harder to prepare for Rika than Khamzat Amaya. In his words, Amaya fights in a straightforward way, so you know what to expect. Rika, on the other hand, is unpredictable and always changing his style, which makes him more dangerous. De Ridder shared this in an interview with MMA Junkie as the fight world looks ahead to UFC 319, where Drake will defend the middleweight title against Thompson. RTR said he would be an easier guy to prepare for. Not that he's an easier fight, but he's more of a typical style. I can bring a couple of Dagestan knees and a couple of Chechens who wrestle pretty similar to Khamzat boxes pretty cleanly. It's not that special in a sense that it's not as weird as Drake is. It would be harder to prepare for duplicity, but if Kamatov wins, he might be the bigger name. If there's one guy who's hard to study, it's him. He doesn't do the same thing twice. He's so awkward, so unpredictable. I need more time studying him. He does a lot of awkward stuff, and I sparred him a couple of years ago at Kill Class. And what really stands out is the way he kicks. Mauricio Ruffy teases that he has a fight announcement coming soon. He posted this video to his socials, and many believe he will be fighting Benoit Denis at UFC Paris. Ruffy is currently unranked in the lightweight division. Benoit Denis is sitting at number 13. Jared Cannonier is set to face Michael Venom Page at UFC 319, but he doesn't sound too excited about it. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, Cannonier admitted he isn't thrilled with the matchup, leaving fans wondering if his focus is fully there or if he sees bigger fights ahead. He said, "The issue that I have with the fight is he's not really a middleweight. I'm focused on getting back to the title. I understand it's a big fight, it's on a big card, so there's some weight there." That's the rumor you guys have heard, so I'm gonna leave it at that. A rumor that you all heard. It's business as usual. It's all about the next fight. To be honest, it's not that. He may be unranked, but I don't know. I can't really make any reasoning behind the matchmaking. It's still an exciting fight. I've watched MVP for a long time. He's a world-renowned fighter, and we all know who he is. We all love to watch him fight, so it's still a big fight, and with any fight, a dominant finish will get me back on track to where I want to go. Earlier this week, Ben Askren revealed he had to return to the hospital due to concerns of a potential infection following his double lung transplant. Ben posted another update last night and says things are going well.
Hey guys, quick update number 7. Our hands are a little shaky from some of these medicines. I'm still in the hospital, but everything's been good. They kept me here because they thought there was some infection possibility. Every test they've ran so far has came back negative, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't think there's any danger wrong at all. I think I'm waiting for 1 or 2 more tests to come back, and then we'll see where we go from there. I also want to add a mental Monday here, because I haven't done one in a while, although you may say a few of my last posts had to do with the psychology of kicking my ass at life. So one of the things we're passionate about at Askren Wrestling Academy is we'll take anybody. I don't care if you've wrestled, I don't care if you suck at wrestling. If you want to be in the room, you want to get better, we'd love to have you. Right? It's kind of that simple. I cringe when I see some of these 7, 8, 9-year-old baseball teams make cuts. I think it's a lot of sports at that age, honestly. But if you want to have a good team long term, you want to keep as many kids as possible involved, because you don't know who's going to develop. Right? I've had kids who never qualified for youth state that have placed at state, that won D1. Right? Many kids. Our most recent one, Brady Collins, I don't think he placed at youth state. Definitely did down to 8th grader. Just placed at the junior nationals. Right? You don't know who's going to develop, and so this philosophy of cutting people is really stupid. And any coach that abides by that, you guys are making huge mistakes. So one of our goals at AWA that makes us really effective is keep around as many kids as possible. Now, I don't think we've ever had to kick anyone out, but there are standards. So like I know with my youth group last year, I would just go make them sit out. Like if they weren't abiding by standards, okay, you can't practice anymore today. Go sit over there in the corner. And usually that works. They get the message of, I don't want to be excluded from the group, I'm only part of the group. I do want to work hard. And they get it together. Okay? But the more kids you keep around, the more possibilities you have at turning something out. And honestly, lots of times when kids are really good at 7, 8, 9 years old, either the parent has already put a bunch of time into them, or some kids just physically mature way earlier, right? But that means there's less upside. So if a kid physically matures early, they have less physical maturing to do as their life moves on. And then you have some kids who are super physically immature, and once they mature or once they catch up to those around them, then they're gonna be fine. So I hate cutting at young ages. I don't think you should do it. It's really stupid. Yeah, that's all I got for you. All right, I'll try to update you guys when I get out of here. Hopefully today is Wednesday, July 30th. Hopefully maybe tomorrow, the next day. But I'm gonna stock up our relax and not get too hung up on it.
Earlier this week, Nate Diaz stirred things up by calling out Max Holloway. For those who don't know, Nate has been talking about making a return to the UFC. He even posted a photo of Max holding the BMF belt, saying, "This guy's cool, but he keeps wearing my belt," and added an angry face emoji to make his point. The call out quickly got fans buzzing, and now even veteran voice John McCarthy has shared his thoughts on how a fight between Nate and Max might actually play out. He said, "I'm being honest. I don't think it's a great fight. It's not a great fight. It would be a one-sided fight. Max is way faster than Nate. He moves a lot. Nate doesn't do well with people that move well. Even Josh Thompson, you have movement that caused him problems throughout the fight, and that's when he was young and he wasn't slower. I'm being honest. I look at that, and it's a matter of Nate Diaz. How long can he last without Max cutting him up? Like he's got razors in his hands and they're being stopped on cuts." Michael Bisping has some straight-up advice for Drake ahead of his middleweight title defense against Khamzat at UFC 319. Instead of trying to run from Khamzat's wrestling, Bisping says Drake should face it head-on. In Bisping's words, avoiding Amaya's pressure won't work. You have to match his intensity and fight fire with fire. On his YouTube channel, Bisping said, "Drake is duplicity. I mean, you cannot doubt this guy. He said he wants to fight Khamzat on the ground. He said everyone else tries to avoid the ground with him. He said I want to fight the best best version of him. I want to test my skills against his on the ground. He's not intimidated. There are videos of Drake Du Plessis online taking on an entire Gracie Barra Blackout team and submitting them all one by one. He's big, he's strong, he can wrestle, he's got great judo, he's got knockout power, he's had a nose job, so he's got a great gas tank now as well. They hate each other. They absolutely hate each other. Tamayo's gonna get you down. Look what he did to Robert Whittaker. Look at what he did to Kamaru Usman. Usman, with that fight, you might go, oh yeah, Usman had his best days behind him. Then look what he did to Joaquin Buckley. He still got it. That's how good Khamzat Maya is at wrestling. So if you try to just do everything you can to avoid him and get away and run, you're just running away the entire time he's going to get you. Nah, screw that. Meet him head on. Fight him at his own game. Reinier De Ridder believes Paulo Costa is the one behind a fake profile pretending to be him. The post went viral this week, pulling in over 1 million views. It featured that classic photo of Paulo standing with Israel Adesanya, and fans quickly started buzzing about who was really behind the account. It reads, "You got your first win in 3 years. I got my first decision in 4 years. And you talk actions speak louder than words. So meet me in November MSG. Don't sit out for another year." So that account is obviously not Reinier De Ridder. And in an interview with Inside Fighting, he confirms he doesn't actually want to fight Paulo. He said no. I think it was Paulo Costa himself. I think he had both accounts going on, I think. Nacho Americano had some strong words about Reinier De Ridder's performance. He compared RDR's fighting style to Dragi's unpredictability, saying it makes him very hard to prepare for. Nacho also made it clear he believes RDR beat Robert Whittaker last weekend at UFC Abu Dhabi. What impressed him most, though, were RDR's vicious knees, which he said played a huge role in controlling the fight.
I want to hear Moicano thoughts on that guy's style because he's another DDP, right? Another crazy style.
I think he's like a DDP cousin or something like that because they're fucking the same. I know one is from South Africa, right? Yeah. But I think he's like his ancestors or some shit was from Netherlands. They look the same. But to me, it was not a hard fight to judge. I think it was easy to score, right?
The Ridder, right?
What do you think? Why the Ridder? So why are you asking if he deserved to win? I think it was an easy fight to score.
It was a split decision though.
Yeah, but I mean, it was clear.
I thought it was very clear 3-2. Yeah, but I agree with that because the 2 rounds that Robbie won, bro, he dominated.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't enough to be a 10-8. So I think it was 2 rounds 10-9 to Rob and 3 rounds 10-9 to the Ridder, and the Ridder won. And I trained with this guy, and I told Moicano, like, bro, the guy has very good jiu-jitsu, very tricky with the clinch, with the takedowns, and he has a chin, you know, not the best striking, not like a beautiful Adesanya Topuria striking movement. Yeah. But the guy,
let's be honest, he just have the knee. The knee is very good.
Good jabs, the knees on stand up. Yes.
The timing on the knee is fucking perfect.
And then the one time Robert Whittaker caught him with the overhand when he timed that knee, that was perfect. But other than that, he's perfect with that.
The guy can take it. The guy took a lot of punishment, bro. Yes. That's different. The guy can take a lot. So yeah, we gotta give it up to
the timing on the knee is because he was having trouble in the first round. Do you remember that? Like, Whittaker very hard to take it down. But then I don't know if it was in the first or the second round. He timed the knee on the clinch and on the when Whittaker was in the cage, and then he fell, and then he went to the back and put him on the. So the timing on the knee is very impressive. But other than that, the guy's just.
Yeah, but he's a high-level grappler. He can take a lot of punishment, and whenever he throws the knee, so.
Dan Hooker believes the UFC might actually book Dustin Poirier against Paddy Pimblett next. In an interview with Sky Sports, Hooker said the matchup makes sense for the promotion and could be the fight fans don't see coming. Dan said the funny thing is they might actually do Paddy versus Ilia, which is like an absolute take. He fights Chandler, then gets a title shot. Absolute take, but who cares? At the end of the day, he's not gonna hold the belt for very long. Also, if you're in Elias' shoes, logically he should be fighting Armand, but he's not going to because Armand's a really tough fighter. If I'm sitting there with the title and I'm getting pay-per-view points and I have to fight Armand Saraki and Justin Gates or Paddy Pimblett, I would take the hardest guy. But if you're smart, you take Paddy Pimblett, you're gonna get the most money because there's a lot of animosity. You're gonna get the most money in the worst fighter, so it's like a win-win situation for Ilia Topuria. Fans started making fun of Rampage Jackson after he put ketchup on his steak during a live stream, but the jokes didn't stop there. Jon Jones also got dragged into it, even though he had nothing to do with it.
$5. I bet Jon Jones doesn't put ketchup on his steak.
I bet Jon Jones put shit in his nose, though.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to MMA Analysts and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. See you in the next video.